Hello everybody, it's the Historical Gamer once again, and today we are returning to Panzer Corps II, a new game out by Slytherin and made back, was it Flashback Studios who makes the game? I don't know, I always associate it with Matrix or Slytherin games, but they're the publishers, not actually the developers. This is the sequel to the 2012 Panzer Corps I, which itself was sort of a modern remake of Panzer General. And I will say, since Panzer Corps I came out, it seems like there's been a lot of additional sort of Panzer General clones of the old SSI game. But I still feel to this day that Panzer Corps I is one of the best, most well done. Order of Battle's probably up there as well. But Panzer Corps II, which just came out today, is also a very, it's very encouraging. It's been a lot of fun to play through. We just won the battle of Paris, so we conquered France. We had already won the invasion of Poland, of Norway, and with those victories, we're now given a choice in our campaign. Unfortunately, the campaign skips the Balkan campaigns, which are a little bit, I wish they were included. But at this point, you're given a branching choice, a substantial choice. You can either choose to fight in North Africa and fight against the British and then eventually the Americans in North Africa with the Germans and the Italians on your side, or you can choose to fight in Russia. So basically, you're being given the chance: do you want to be Rommel, or do you want to be all of the other German generals? And so that's the choice you're given. Now, North African battles are a little bit smaller, a little bit more manageable, as one would expect. And Barbarossa is obviously the massive, behemoth invasion of Russia. Now, we are going to do Barbarossa. If you are interested, I did make some videos on the North African battles, at least the first 4 or 5 of them, and I have a separate playlist, I think, for those on my channel. But we are going to be doing the invasion of Russia in this video here today. So let's go ahead and jump in. Okay, so now we have, in addition to making a choice about invading Russia, now we have to choose what part of Russia we wish to invade. So Russia, obviously, it was the largest, I think still to this day, the largest invasion by a modern army was it the history of the world? If not, I mean, China might have had some bigger ones, but certainly in sort of modern military history, the largest invasion to this date. As you may know, if you're interested in the invasion of Russia, there were 3 major army groups: Army Group North, Army Group Center, and Army Group South, and this seems to reflect that. You've got Army Group North, which is Barbarossa North, which is the drive through the Baltic states and then presumably toward Leningrad. Army Group Center, which is a drive through eastern Poland, which the Soviets occupied after the 1939 fall, or during the 1939 invasion of Poland. And that's sort of the drive into the center of Russia. I'm assuming eventually the drive on Smolensk and then Moscow. And then Barbarossa South, which is the invasion through southern Poland, eastern Poland, and then also through the Ukraine with Romanian supporting forces, it looks like, on the map here. So essentially, south, center, or north are your choices. This monumental struggle for the Ostfront is about to begin. With the Axis powers bordering the Soviet Union across a nearly 3,000-kilometer front, you must decide where to deploy your forces for the massive invasion. All paths eventually lead to Moscow, but each set of battles presents unique challenges and rewards. Well, it would be nice to know what those challenges and rewards are. In the other battles, it tells you, the northern route will give you more attacks on forts. The southern route will give you more open field battles. I'm not sure which of those each one of these gives you more of, although I will say, despite your advice, Griffin, I do feel like playing Barbarossa Center, especially if it is the most difficult. We've had a relatively easy time of it thus far, and that is because I'm playing on an easier difficulty. But we've had a relatively easy time of it thus far, so it might be fun to try something a little bit big. Now, as I understand it, the battle's core sizes are up to 150, which I'm a little bit uneasy with that. I'm a little bit uneasy that it may be a little bit of a slog. I played the Resin Salient, and it lost all sense of direction and I wouldn't say interest, but it played like a completely different game than everything leading up to that. So I'm a little worried that maybe in the sense of Russia's size and scale, they made things just a little bit too big for the game to handle the way it's designed, but we'll see. I haven't played the invasion yet, so we'll do that. We're going to do Operation Barbarossa Center, the drive on presumably Smolensk and then Moscow.
Guten Tag, Herr General. It's good to see you returning to active service. You're going to need them, because tomorrow we will be joining in Operation Barbarossa, the largest invasion the world has ever seen. Your unit's transfer to Warsaw is complete, and you are now formally operating under Army Group Center's command.
There it is, there's Smolensk.
Your task is to spearhead the invasion of the Soviet Union by advancing directly to its heart. Initial objectives are to eliminate all Soviet forces in the vicinity between Grodno and Brest. Air Recon has identified some major fortifications defending Brest. Should you choose to assault them, Field Marshal von Bock has authorized the super siege mortar Karl Gerhardt to be placed at your disposal to pound these positions into oblivion. You may deploy the siege mortar by purchasing it from your prototype inventory. Be warned that such a uniquely massive weapon can never be reinforced, as we have only built a handful of them. So, use it wisely, and use it carefully. After crushing forward Soviet positions, you will be advancing directly to Smolensk. I strongly advise against any kind of wide-sweeping flanking maneuvers. The Pripyat swamp will absolutely bog down even your lightest panzers. As a final reminder, because it has been over a year since your last operation, be sure to check the equipment stocks of your troops. You wouldn't want to send them into Russia with obsolete weapons.
Okay, so that looks like it's the briefing. I do think I want to attack Brest. Looks like we have another Dieter Schmidt. He's good at, prevents enemy units from retreating so they surrender instead. Okay, yeah. He's good at envelopment. That seems like a good trait to have. Meanwhile, you can see Brest down here in the south. I'm not sure what this city is here. Bialystok, it looks like. And then Grodno in the north. We do have to take Brest based on the fact that it's an objective here. So let's zoom out here. One of the things I really liked about the original Panzer General I Barbarossa campaign is it felt absolutely massive, and you were always running low on time to get there before the battle ended. We only have 20 turns, which is not very long, and we've got a fairly big map to drive across. It looks large. It looks like we've got major objectives at Mogilov, Orsha, Vitebsk, Smolensk in the sort of far east. And then we've got sort of objectives on the midway point at Minsk. Looks like a major crossroads here. The cities are nice and large, too, so it does look like it's going to lead to a lot of urban fighting. And then we've got Grodno and Brest as the first objective. So there's 6 total objectives. Brest and Grodno on the front line, Minsk in sort of the midline, and then 3 objectives all the way at the east, and then 1 far eastern objective. Again, a lot of city fighting, a lot of airfields, a lot of potential routes to go. 2 fundamental advance routes here. South through Brest, and then to the east along this rail line here toward Minsk. And then also in the north, you can kind of advance on east of Grodno, north of Grodno, along this railway line and this roadway. Both the southern and northern approaches converge on Minsk before driving east toward Mogilov, Orsha, and Vitebsk. You could try and flank, well, not really. You might be able to try and flank Mogilov and cross this river to the south, but there's not really a great way to do it. There is one bridge here that could lead into the southern portion of Smolensk. The north looks a little bit more open in terms of using armored forces to create a breakthrough. There's a lot of plains up here in the north. The south is a little bit more narrow between the urban centers at Bialystok and Brest. And then Minsk, obviously, is a fairly large city that you're going to have to converge on. So it does look like you're going to need a good mix of both ground units and infantry units and armored units. Now, we have 3,500 prestige, which is a good amount, but not a ton. The core slot takes a reasonably big bump up. It's not to 150 yet, but it's up to 60. It's up to 72 in terms of our max slot. So I'm going to try and maintain my forces at elite reinforcements. It's going to cost a lot of money. So let's try and see if we can do that, especially the infantry units here that are like 2-star units. Should give them a pretty big advantage. But remember, I'm also going to need to upgrade some of my units, so I need to make sure that I'm saving some cash, because these units are probably obsolete since, as the briefing said, it's been a year since our last battle here. So we started with, what, like 3,500 prestige? We're already down to 2,800. I don't know if I can upgrade the Stug or not. Yes, I can. Okay, so we've got more equipment for the Stug, which is great. And then everybody else is at full strength by the look of it. Okay, so that's good. So additionally, we probably want to look at upgrade options. So I don't think there's going to be upgrade option for the Brooklyn Pioneer. Doesn't look like it. We need Bridge Pioneers. You can see there are a lot of rivers to cross. Additionally, it does. Do I not have? Oh, these guys don't have trucks. Oh, that's because they're Fallschirmjägers. Okay. So the interesting thing here is that in previous Panzer General games, or Panzer General, I can't remember if Panzer Corps did this or not, but in previous games, the infantry units would have like an infantry 1939, infantry 1941, infantry 1943. As units became, organized differently, they'd have different stats and traits and things like that. This game doesn't seem to do that. This just seems to basically be Wehr infantry is always Wehr infantry, and so you don't really have to worry about upgrading your infantry. At least not yet. Everything is just standard Wehr infantry, which, okay, that makes it easier for me right now. So I think the main things we need to look at upgrading are probably air units and armored units. So let's check out these tanks. We've got a bunch of new tanks. We've got Panzer IIIHs, we've got Panzer IVFs, we've got Flamin' Panzers. Flamin' Panzers, a Flamin' Panzers. Is it like a filet mignon? Okay. So apparently I can upgrade any of these tanks down any path relatively cheaply. The Panzer IVF is a good support tank. It's not great against Soviet armor, but it's good against Soviet infantry and fixed positions. We also apparently have the Char 1B, which would be an upgrade. Although I don't know if it doesn't look like it has a high-velocity gun based on the fact that it's a short barrel. So I'm not sure. I mean, it'd be a big upgrade over what we had. And actually, surprisingly enough, is a big upgrade over... It's even an upgrade over the Panzer IV when it comes to ground defense and air defense. It is much weaker... Not much weaker, but it's weaker in soft attack, and I think hard... Well, it's better in hard attack, it's weaker in soft attack. What's the Panzer III better? The Panzer III's not even better. The Panzer IIIH isn't even better. Interesting. So if we look at the Panzer IIIH, it is worse than the Char 1B on soft attack, and it is only slightly better on hard attack. It's worse on defense, so it's kind of worse all around. The Char 1B is damn good. Wow. I wonder if we should use that. What do you guys think? Should we use the captured Char 1B as an upgrade for some of our armor? Probably doesn't have as good a range, I would guess, which might matter in the Soviet Union. Mixed feelings, you guys. Some yeses, some nos. What do you guys got against the Char 1B? It looks better. Everything I'm looking at makes it look better. Better against air. It doesn't have the same initiative points. So it's a slightly slower unit. Oh, so the fact that it's number 1 means we don't have enough to equip the whole unit? Oh, wow, okay. So you can see here it's only 1. The unit is available in limited numbers. Purchase upgrades and replacements. Use points in the pool and are impossible when the points are exhausted. It costs more too. Okay. So Panzer IV versus Panzer III. Panzer IV is much better against infantry. Panzer III is slightly better against armor. It's actually not that big a difference. It's only a difference of 2. There is a 40 unit cost difference. I kind of feel like the Panzer IV might be the better route to go with these guys. I'm guessing the G is worse. Just slightly, mainly just on air defense. Okay, I think we're going to go with the Panzer IV upgrade here. I don't plan to overstrength it, because that would use up core slots, and I want to get more units, not just better units. So we're going to upgrade to the Panzer IV with both of our Panzer 38Ts. We're going to upgrade our Panzer IIIFs to the Panzer IIIH, which is relatively cheap to do. And so we'll sort of have a mix of 3s and 4s. Our recon vehicles probably could be upgraded, although I don't know that there's a ton of... Oh, interesting. So there's Panzers that are recon units as well. So it would make them carry much less fuel. They would have a greater core slot. They would carry more ammo. They'd have better soft attack, the same hard attack. Interesting. They would have less movement, however. More ground defense, more air defense. I like the movement, though. So if we just go with the SD KFZ 8 rod, they'd have better soft attack, equal soft attack to the Panzer, less ammo. They wouldn't be as good against air units, but otherwise they're pretty much the same. I think actually the rod is better. The 2F is really good. Or, well, not the 2F Panzer, sorry. The SD KFZ 232 rod actually looks better than the 2F. Especially because of that massive difference in movement points, which I think on the Russian planes is going to be important. So we're going to upgrade to that. It is going to increase our core hit, our slot hit by 1. 2 total, because we have 2 of these units. Okay, so the artillery, we've got the 75 millimeter guns, or 7.5 centimeter guns. They're only taking up 2 core slots. Wait, I'm confused. What? These guys look older. The Carl Garrett. It's 3,000 prestige. Are you insane? I can't afford that. So much for that. I don't even have that kind of money. All right. Oh, man. I mean, that would probably be useful in the Siege of Sevastopol, but I don't know. I don't know where I'm supposed to do that. Let's actually upgrade the Stug, right? We can upgrade it to... Or no, it's the same Stug that we already have, so we'll keep that as is, I think. I don't know. The Stug is sort of... I'm torn on the Stug. It doesn't seem to be very effective with artillery. Doesn't really have range. The Sturmpanzer seems way better. Early Stugs are bad, really bad. Maybe, but they see... I think what the Stug is good at is defense, because if you look at here, ground defense is 16 for the Stug versus 9 for the Sturmpanzer. So when it comes to defense against air and ground units, the Stug is much better if you're operating your artillery forward and you're worried about the enemy attacking you. But in terms of actually hitting the enemy with artillery, the Sturmpanzer is definitely better. But I'd actually rather just go with another field gun with wagon transport, I think. The 105 millimeter or the 10.5 centimeter guns are, I think, much more useful. I'd like something bigger, but the core hit is just so big. The Sturmpanzers are pretty effective, but it's 2 more core slots, and I've only got 6 available to me. And I'd really like to increase the size of my force at this time. So I think I'm actually going to change my Stug to a 10.5 centimeter. With horse transport. Okay. So we've got 1 Sturmpanzer. We've got 2 10.5 centimeters. Maybe we'll just do another 10.5 centimeter. With wagon. Okay, so we've got all of our artillery now is 10.5 centimeters with wagons, and then we've got 1 Sturmpanzer, and these guys have some good experience. Meanwhile, we still need to save a little bit of money to upgrade our fighters. So we've got the Bf-109E. The F is available to us for 40 points. It is slightly better on air attack, slightly better on air defense, and has much better initiative. So we'll do that for both of our 109s. Now I want to go fire up some IL-2 and fly around with some 109s. The Ju-87B can be upgraded to the Ju-87R, which again will be better across the board. The BF-110D is still the BF-110D. We could elect to upgrade it to the R, the Ju-87R. It would be worse, actually. It would take more slots. It would have more ammo. It would be much better soft attack. It would be much better hard attack. It would be worse against enemy aircraft, however, and it would be it would be much better in naval attack. There is something I really like about the 110, though. And that is the ability to knock out enemy aircraft and to sort of act as a multi-role aircraft. They don't get bullied by fighters, and they can finish off an enemy unit. So I think we're going to keep them as is. Because, yeah, the Junkers definitely need escort. Meanwhile, the DO-17 is definitely obsolete by now. The Ju-87 is available. The DO-217E is available. The 217E, oh my god, it's more than double the soft attack, almost double the hard attack. Almost, 20% better air attack, double naval attack. This thing is just so much better. It does cost a lot. It's 240 points. And it will increase our core usage, I guess. But it's worth it, I think. So now we're only going to end up with one new unit. 2 fighter units still feels a little bit light. I'm paying a hefty price for having our fighters at 20 strength. But let's see about purchasing one more unit here. I don't have the 3,000 points to buy the Carl Gustav, so that probably won't happen. We could go with another armor unit, or we could go with... we can't get more Pioneers, which would probably be nice. Grenadiers. We could go with more. We could go with some Grenadiers. I think heavy infantry would be useful. We'll give them an Opel Blitz. And that should be good. Grenadiers are decent against enemy tanks, right? I'm kind of torn on that. Part of me says we should go with more tanks. What do you guys think? One more armored unit or one heavy infantry unit? All of these cities that we have to attack make me a little nervous that we don't have enough infantry support. A flame panzer? Well, we do have flame panzers. I don't know how useful they are. They're probably more like artillery. They're really good against infantry. But not as good as a Panzer IV, sorry. Works like a Pioneer. I've never split my units either. I don't really know if that's... I don't know if that's something you really need to learn or use or not. Armor, you think? Alright, we'll go with another Panzer IIIH, just because I'm terrified of running into some T-34s. Not that this is going to be good against the T-34, but it's our best bet with an armored unit. Okay, so we purchased our additional tank. We're now at our max size. Yeah, the Carl Gustav would definitely be good for sieges, but we're going to have one around Brest, I think. So I think what we'll do here at Brest, we've already been told it's fortified. So we're going to put our Pioneer unit down at Brest. We're going to put our bridging unit in the north, because that's where I'm really going to try and get my momentum. We're going to put 2 Panzer IIIHs up north. We're going to put our self-propelled artillery up north. And then we'll put 1 infantry unit up north. We're also going to put 1 Panzer IV up north. So we're going to really go heavy on the armor up north to try and break through around Gordno. Meanwhile, in the south, we're going to have a lot more of our other units here, so we're going to go heavy on the artillery. Probably need a little bit of artillery here, because I think we're going to have to take Bialystok since it's on our flank. We will put some armor. Well, recon cars, I don't know where the best use of them is. Maybe one up north, and then one recon car. Actually, both recon cars up north, I think, because that's, I think, where we're going to get our breakthrough. We're putting 2 infantry units in the south near Brest. We'll put 1 infantry unit on the flank over here. And then armor. I'm not really sure what the ideal placement of all of this stuff is. Actually, sorry. I don't want to... As much as maybe putting paratroopers on planes would be a good idea, I don't actually want... Can I deploy them on... Can I deploy these guys on the ground? I don't want them in the air. I guess not. Anyway, I can drop them right away. And then our air units... We've got so much artillery in the south, I think we can take Brest without air. I think so we'll deploy the bulk of our air up north. Actually, all of our air up north. The Strat bombers have to be in the south because of where the airfields are that can support them. Okay, so that's the end of the deployment phase. Some units not been given their max replacements and are below max strength. Who? Who's below max strength? I'm sure there's someone I overstrength. Oh, these guys? Brooklyn Pioneers? I thought their max strength was 10. Isn't that what I've been operating them at? Oh, forgot about the heroes. Can't forget about those. Oops. So who should we give the heroes to? The hero prevents an enemy from retreating, so I'm thinking probably an armored unit. So maybe this lead Panzer III unit. It doesn't have any heroes at the moment. I'm glad you get those pop-ups. I always forget about it. Alright, so we'll end deployment. It's raining this turn. Oh, you gotta be shitting me! The battle starts and it's raining? Yuck! Well, that's gonna put it's gonna put a damper. Alright. Alright, so there's enemy anti-tank guns in support, apparently. So that armor took a beating there. Can't use the damn tactical bombers because it's raining. Alright, there's a bunker at Brest. Can't even use my bombers to try and pound that guy. Oh! These Pioneers will get shot to pieces if they move out that way. This is going to be a bad first turn for the invasion of Russia. 8-1? Are you kidding me? Oh my god. Is that always rainy on day one, or is this just bad luck? Can I restart this battle? This seems absurd. I need air power for this invade. Dear Russia, I would not invade you if I knew it was going to be raining. That's a lot of Russian cavalry. Four to 8, wow. Alright, so we wiped out that infantry unit there in the north of this town. We'll move our Brooklyn Pioneers forward here. We can't even, like, attack the enemy air units on day one as, like, a surprise. Because how jacked this situation is. I'm sorry, that's... If I restart the scenario, let's... I hate to, like, be a save scummer and cheap like that, but... That's kind of absurd in my mind. That we just drew that battle luck. Because you would be attacking in the summer in good weather. That's just what you would do. And it's raining again. I'm guessing that by the time I get to the deployment phase, it's already made up its mind that it's going to be raining. Oh, that's a little bit infuriating. Like, I almost have to not move anything in the south here because I can't actually accomplish anything. Bombard them. They're encircled. Damn, they retreated. Got him! So we get an overrun there. Again, the fact that we can't just ravage their air force, which is all, like, part strength. Brrr! Makes me mad. Okay, so we can try and break out to the north. I'm assuming this armor, these BT-5s will come up. I really don't want a 6-6. 6-8. I'll take those casualties. God, those units are so good, too. The rain also limits the line of sight of your regular ground units, too. We did at least break across the river in the north, destroyed a couple of units, threatening Gordno. I don't even want to... I don't even... 10-2, are you absurd? We're really going to try and pound this. It's an 18-level fort, by the way. That is a tough strong point. Ah, boy. Well, this is going to be tough. We'll see how the second turn goes. Hopefully, it looks like the weather's going to be sunny then. Infantry counterattacking our armor up north. Enemy armor crosses the bridge to attack our pioneers. That was an interesting decision. Armor also counterattacks our armor in the north. A lot of Soviet armor moving through wooded terrain to not so great results for them. Jesus, the Soviets really go aggressive with a massive counterattack right off the bat. Hopefully once we crack through their front line, things become a little bit easier. It's sunny now. Alright, their fighters still haven't moved. So I'm going to bring my fighters in here to wipe them out. Oh, I didn't finish that guy off? Well, I guess we'll work on him now. They've got a lot of aircraft, too. Maybe there's like a first turn rule where they don't move. Alright, so our Stuka ravaged those guys pretty badly. Nice, we forced that unit to surrender. Drove those guys back. Move our recon car in here to finish these guys off. And they're destroyed. Frickin' Pioneer moves up. We'll take that airfield. Move our armor up on the flank over there. And so in the north things are going reasonably well, I think. The center is this is tough. Alright, so that armor attacked that enemy armor and drove them back. The infantry will pursue them into the woods and destroy them. Recon car swings north to help these guys in their attack. Driving back that cavalry. Helping stabilize the situation there. Meanwhile, we have better visuals on these troops down here. I've got so much enemy armor to our front. Alright. I hate the idea of putting my armor on a bridge. But I did it. How can I have 5 suppression on a 1 strength unit? I also don't want to move these infantry forward here to attack to be in range of that fixed position. Nor am I super comfortable moving my strategic bombers anywhere where they might be in range of enemy fighters. We'll fly them north. Hopefully the enemy fighters won't hit us. We'll attack those troops in that city. 3-5. 4-3. God, Russia's going to be so bloody. But if we get through these 2 units here, then we might be able to kind of clear out the center. We're already going to be on turn 3, and we haven't taken a single objective. We have a ways to go. Ugh. All right, the enemy air is moving. More enemy armored counterattacks. What is with them and attacking armor over rivers? They're just asking to die. Meanwhile, their attack air there did a pretty big number on our armor there. Looks like they reinforced some of their air units to strength 10. Looks like they reinforced all their air units to full strength. Oh, God. Strong enemy counterattack in the south. That armor of ours almost wiped out. It's retreated twice. They're going to finish it off. They're going to take this supply city in our rear. Holy shit. When you said this was a tough battle, you were not lying. 15 strength air units? Like, what the fuck? All right, knock it out in 1 shot. Got it. All right, so we knocked out all the enemy fighters we can see except the 1. We'll move our 110s down here to engage. They've nearly destroyed that enemy fighter unit. The Stuka will move south to hit these enemy cavalry here that are driving into our flank. These strategic bombers here will hit this. What do we want to hit? Probably that enemy infantry. I'm playing on normal difficulty, for those who asked. Right, enemy infantry here. Okay, we'll drive that enemy armor back. We destroyed one of the cavalry units on our flank. Their infantry unit there at least got hit heavy with artillery. Our own infantry here will drive the enemy back. Meanwhile, our armor will reinforce. Burning through my prestige at a prodigious rate. Two, 4, 3. Our armor will drive into the rear and destroy them. We'll get a. I don't know if that's an encirclement or what. I don't have any infantry up here in the north to reduce these town. Oh, well, these infantry technically. All right. All right, we need to try and take Grodno. Taking casualties here, trying to reduce this enemy infantry. These guys are in rough shape. Counterattack could easily destroy them, especially from that heavy enemy air presence. We could definitely be losing some units next turn. South was a breeze. Maybe, well, I mean, if we lose, we'll have to consider loading the save and approaching this differently. That first turn of bad weather really screwed us, though, because it allowed the enemy air force to not get probably at least 2, maybe 3 of their air units destroyed, and then another 2 or 3 on the second unit turn, because it looks like their air units are kind of frozen for 2 turns. So that really screwed us. All right, I'm going to use... Swing these fighters south. I'm going to use my 110s here to finish off this enemy air unit. Kushin, thanks for the subscription, man. Alright, so we are going to try and knock this enemy bomber unit out. We shall succeed. 12 shot down without loss. That is nice. Ah! Okay, so... Oh, there's still one enemy attack air up there in the north. Okay. These guys should be encircled, right? Alright, so we'll retake that supply city. Encircle and destroy that infantry. Should give us an overrun. It does. We'll go and take this airfield, finish off that enemy armor. Gets us another overrun, although I don't have anything else I can attack at the moment. And then we'll rest our infantry. We're going to pound this enemy fort next turn, but for the moment we're going to wait. Okay. Let's go pound these guys near Grodno. Nice. We drove them out of the city. We took the city. Our infantry can move up here. Maybe finish him off? Yes, we forced him to surrender. Good. Now I can spend an absurd amount of prestige reinforcing these guys to some sort of useful strength. We'll move this armor forward here to bypass these enemy infantry in this town. Take this objective near Lida, and we're advancing on Minsk now after 4 turns. Granted, not with any sort of strength that I think can take the city, but... reinforce these guys. I'm just going to kind of reinforce the infantry all around. So we drove that infantry back, reinforced this other infantry of ours. Reinforce the arty. Move our own artillery forward. So we're really going to go for Brest next turn. We're going to hit it with 305mm guns. Then we're going to hit it with, if the Pioneers can get up there, Pioneers and infantry. Meanwhile, we're going to continue to try and reduce this pocket of Soviet troops that's delaying us. I probably shouldn't get so tied to the enemy infantry but in the middle, but the problem is, you know, you probably should bypass, but I can't because they keep hitting me in the flank. And I don't have a large enough core slot. Oh, shit, they just attacked my Pioneers. I don't have a large enough core slot to absorb those flank attacks. All right, so those guys are encircled. So we'll attack there. Can we finish them off? Get an overrun? Nope. Can only armored units get overruns, by the way? I hate when it says, oh, they're encircled, but yep, they're going to retreat. Alright, so we finish them off. Well, these Pioneers aren't going to be able to do much against this fort. We're going to have to wait another frickin' turn on the southern fort. All right. Okay. Alright, so drove them back. Hit these guys, overrun. Move this way, attack these guys, overrun. And then swing out wide to begin the advance. So that was a good turn for that armor. It used the overrun well. There's one more Soviet infantry unit in this pocket that we've made, a fairly strong Soviet pocket. And our Pioneer, I mean, I need to reduce Brest eventually, but maybe we just bypass it for a while. Meanwhile... swing in here and encircle these guys. One. Bomb them here. I think we know the enemy bombers retreated to this airfield over here. I can't quite get to it, though. So I'm actually going to use this turn of relative calm for my air units to base them forward a little bit to expand their range, at least the fighters. Okay. A campaign tree? Oh, well. I'll keep it a surprise for me anyway, Griffin. Alright, we'll reinforce those guys. Jesus, our prestige is down to 222. 4-3, 4-2, 4-1. We already used the... okay, so we'll do 4-3 for the Bricken. The Bricken are cheap reinforcements anyway. 3-2, 2-1. These Soviet troops, do they have, like, no surrender? You'd think eventually they'd just be like, all right, we've had enough. Yeah, I probably won't make this mission, to be honest. I mean, I think I'm going to lose. I don't know how much stronger the defenses are in front of me. But this is not going well. We have not breached the Soviet border effectively. Hey, their strat bomb or their tactical bombers are back. Oh man, another armored counterattack, huh? All right, guys, this battle actually was over an hour and a half long in its entirety, so I am going to go ahead and jump in here and cut this one in half at about the hour mark, a little bit less, and then the next video will be about 40 minutes. So far, the invasion of Russia is not going well. We have gotten hung up at Brest in the south, this fortification. I really probably, in retrospect, should have used my Stuka against it. We really also got thrown off by the fact that the first turn we were hit with bad weather. The Soviet air units have basically half-strength fighter units, but they have a lot of them. They've got like 5 fighter units and 2 or 3 tactical bomber units. So they have a relatively large air force, but they all start off at a half strength, and they stay that way for 2 turns. Well, because we got hit with bad weather, we couldn't attack them on the first turn. And on the second turn, we did shoot, 2 down, maybe 3 down? But we weren't able to finish them off, and then they reinforced, and we got hit pretty hard by them. So unfortunately, just a little bit of bad luck there. We are trying to overcome it. We're reducing the pocket in the center. We've taken our first objective in the north at Gordino. We're driving to the east. We'll see how thick the Russian defenses are now that we're through the first line of defense, and we're still trying to work on Brest and reduce that. But with all that being said, that will be content, or that'll be what we'll cover in our next video. I hope you guys are enjoying this series. The invasion of Russia is on. We've met with a bloody nose, and we're burning through our prestige faster than the U.S. government burns through money. But with that being said, let's go ahead and wrap this thing up. I'll catch you guys next time, and let me know your thoughts down below. But until next time, this is the Historical Gamer saying once again, thanks for watching, and until next time, I'm out.